Welcome back, everyone, to the heartbreaking journey of Jack and Tuten. Today, we enter the quietest moments, but also the most intense. When the line between life and death is as thin as a thread. A well-deserved 20-year prison sentence for the cruel mother-in-law. A sparkling wedding ring given right in the cold recovery room. But tragically, the bride is sinking deep into a coma, unaware that justice has been served. Jack has bet his entire fortune selling his house and car to save his wife. He kneels by the hospital bed, whispering a late proposal through his tears. Will Tuten hear that heart-wrenching call and wake up? Or will that wedding ring remain just a keepsake of an unfinished love? Right now, let's light a beacon of hope for Tuten by hitting like and subscribe below. Every subscription is a prayer helping her defeat the Grim Reaper. Are you ready? Let's hold our breath and step into the recovery room with Jack right now. After the hospital room door closed behind the ex-mother-in-law and the police, the room became so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Tuten lay there, face turned toward the window where the night rain was starting to fall heavier, tapping lifelessly against the glass. She wasn't crying anymore. Her tears seemed to have dried up after the confrontation. But her silence was scarier than any sobbing. It was the silence of someone who had accepted defeat. Jack sat on the edge of the bed. Looking at his wife, his heart felt like it was being squeezed. Where was the strong woman who just declared, "Let the law handle it"? Now in front of him, there was only a tiny, fragile Tuten like a candle in the wind, carrying the seed of death inside her. Jack reached out to touch her shoulder, but pulled back. He was afraid of her rejection, afraid she would say again, "I won't get treatment." But then the image of her, curled up in the cold, deep forest, flashed in his mind. He almost lost her once. He raced against death to bring her back. Was he really going to stand here and watch the Grim Reaper steal her away right in front of his eyes in a fully equipped hospital? No, he wouldn't let that happen. Jack took a deep breath, swallowing his bitterness. He grabbed Tuten's gaunt hand. It was ice cold. He squeezed it tight, then buried his head in her hand. And then, that tough man, the man who just breathed fire at their enemies, broke down and cried. Jack didn't cry loudly. It was choked sobs, shaking from a shattered chest. His hot tears fell onto the back of Tuten's hand, so hot they startled her into turning around. Tuten looked at Jack. She had never seen him cry this much. "Jack," she whispered his name. Jack looked up. His eyes were red and flooded with water. He looked deep into her eyes, his voice cracking. "Tien, I beg you. I'm begging you. Don't give up. Don't leave me alone." Tuten tried to pull her hand away, but Jack held it tighter. He continued. His voice rushed, as if afraid she would disappear if he stopped. "Do you know how I lived during the days you were missing? I was like a walking zombie. I wandered everywhere screaming your name until my voice was gone. Back then, I thought if you were just alive, I'd trade everything, even my own life. Now that God has shown mercy and brought you back to me, why would you let go?" Jack gently smoothed the messy hair on her forehead. "You said you wanted revenge. You wanted justice. Fine, I did it. The law will handle it. But the biggest revenge, the most painful punishment for those who hate you, is for you to live. You have to live healthy and happy. Let them see that no matter how deep they push you into the mud, you still bloom brilliantly. Tien bit her lip, turning away. But Jack, cancer, it's a death sentence. It is not a death sentence. Jack almost shouted, then lowered his voice pleadingly. The doctor said it's early stage, Tien. The cure rate is very high. Why refuse that chance? You might not love yourself, but don't you love me? Jack hugged her, burying his face in the hollow of her thin neck. I want a family, Tien, a real family. I want to wake up every morning and see you. I want us to have children who call you Mom and me Dad. Our house, without you, it's just a pile of cold, lifeless bricks. You are its soul, the only reason I step out the door to work every day. If I lose you, what do I live for? I'll collapse. Jack's gut-wrenching words felt like needles piercing Tien's soft heart. She felt his chest shaking violently against hers. She understood. He loved her more than himself. Tien started crying with him. She wrapped her arms around Jack's back, soothing him. Don't cry. I love you. But Jack, she hesitated, her voice dropping with practical worry. Cancer treatment is so expensive. I know the company is struggling lately. You just pulled it back from a crisis. If I hospitalized surgery chemo, the cost will be a massive burden. I don't want you to drown in debt because of me. I don't want you to suffer. It turned out the deep reason for her hesitation wasn't just mental anguish, but the fear of becoming a burden to the man she loved. Even at death's door, this woman was only thinking of her husband. Hearing this, Jack let go of her. He looked straight into her eyes, his gaze more steady and fiery than ever. He gripped her shoulders, shaking her gently. Tien, listen to me closely. Money is just material. If I lose money, I can earn it back. But if I lose you, I lose everything. Jack pointed out the window, where the city lights were turning on. You're worried about medical bills. You're worried about surgery costs. Don't worry about anything. I will handle it all. If needed, I will sell the car I'm driving. If that's not enough, I'll sell the house we're living in. We can rent a small room, eat simple meals, as long as we have each other. Even if necessary, I will sell the company, sell my shares. I have hands, I have feet, I have a brain. Just get healthy, and I promise you, in 5 years, 10 years, I will buy it all back for you. But your life cannot be bought back. That steely declaration rang through the hospital room like a sacred vow. Even if I have to sell the house and car, I'd do it willingly. As long as I can save you from this cancer monster, you only need to do one thing: nod your head and fight. Leave the storms outside to me. Tien looked at the man in front of her. He was ready to go back to having nothing for her. That sacrifice was so great, it washed away all her hesitation and fear. Just when the atmosphere was at its most tense and emotional, the hospital room door opened. The head doctor walked in holding a medical file. Seeing their red eyes, he understood the fierce internal battle that had taken place. The doctor approached gently. How is it, young lady? Have you thought it through? I just consulted with top experts. Your tumor is malignant, but it hasn't metastasized far. This is the golden time. If you agree to surgery the morning after next, your chance of surviving over 5 years is more than 80%, possibly even a complete cure. The doctor looked at Jack, then back at Tuten. Your husband just ran down to the billing department to pay a huge advance. He told me, "Doctor used the best, most expensive medicine. I don't care how much as long as my wife lives." I've been in this profession for decades, and rarely have I seen a husband love his wife like that. Can you bear to disappoint him? Tuten turned to look at Jack. He was looking at her, with eyes full of hope and pleading. She took a deep breath, wiping away her tears. A surge of strength rose from somewhere inside her. She wanted to live. She wanted to grow old with him. She wanted to see those villains pay the price in court. Tuten squeezed Jack's hand, looked at the doctor, and nodded. "Doctor, I agree to the treatment. Please save me." Jack broke down. He hugged her tight again, but this time it was an embrace of sheer happiness. "Thank you. Thank you for being brave. Ladies and gentlemen, in the end, love conquered fear. Tuten has agreed to step into the life and death battle with cancer to hold on to her family's happiness. Jack is ready to trade his entire fortune to snatch life back for his wife. A love that could move the heavens, but life is rarely a dream. The doctor said, early stage. But will the upcoming surgery really go smoothly? Will Jack selling his house and car, pouring money into his wife's treatment, be exploited by business rivals, or even the people behind the ex-mother-in-law to harm him, pushing him to financial ruin? The two villains have been caught, but will they reveal any other accomplices lurking in the shadows, waiting for Jack to slip up so they can strike? Tuten agreeing to treatment means she will be lying in a hospital bed, weak and defenseless, for a long time. That is when she is most vulnerable. Will the ghosts of the past leave them alone? Or is a bigger storm silently forming right before the fateful surgery day? Time flew by like the blink of an eye, but for those involved, every second felt heavy as lead. After Tuten nodded in agreement to the treatment, both the hospital and Jack's family entered a sprint to prepare for the most important surgery of her life. That morning, the sky was gray, with light rain falling as if to test human spirit. Tuten was changed into a light blue hospital gown. She lay on the stretcher, her long black hair spread on the white pillow. Her face was pale, but her eyes were much more determined. Jack held her hand tightly as they walked down the long tunnel-like corridor leading to the operating room. He didn't say much, just squeezing her hand as if trying to transfer all his vitality to his wife. Stopping in front of the cold operating room doors, the stretcher halted. Tuten looked up at Jack, smiling weakly. "Wait for me outside. I'll take a nap and be right out." Jack bent down, kissing her forehead for a long time. That kiss held 1,000 words of love and worry. "I'll wait for you. No matter how long I'll wait. Remember to come out. Don't get too fond of sleeping, okay?" The operating room doors slowly closed. The red light in surgery turned on. In that moment, Jack felt like a part of his body had been ripped away. He stood frozen in front of the door, staring at that cruel red light. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours dragged by. The hospital corridor was deathly silent, eerie. The only sound was Jack pacing back and forth. He couldn't sit still. Every time a nurse rushed in or out for more blood or instruments, Jack's heart leaped into his throat. He was terrified. Terrified of seeing a head shake. Terrified of hearing the words, "We did everything we could." 5 hours passed, feeling longer than 5 centuries. Jack prayed to every god he knew. He was ready to trade years off his own life just to see that red light turn off and the doctor walk out with a smile. And then the miracle happened. The red light went dark. The doors swung open. The head surgeon stepped out, his forehead drenched in sweat, pulling down his mask. Jack rushed forward, his knees almost buckling. "Doctor, my wife, how is she?" The doctor smiled, patting Jack on the shoulder. "Congratulations, the surgery was a resounding success. We completely removed the tumor. You can breathe now." Hearing those words, Jack slid down to the floor, burying his face in his hands and sobbing uncontrollably. These weren't tears of pain, but tears of overwhelming relief, a release after days of extreme tension. Mother Lee and Uncle Dung hugged each other in tearful joy. Tuten had cheated death once again. However, the doctor gave a stern warning. Although the surgery was successful, her body is extremely fragile after consecutive traumas, exhaustion in the forest, the head injury from the fall, and now major cancer surgery. She will need a significant amount of time in the ICU to wake up. It could be 1 day, 2 days, or longer. The family needs to be patient and stay by her side to call her back. Tuten was moved to the intensive care unit. She lay there peaceful as a sleeping beauty, surrounded by IV lines, oxygen tubes, and the steady beep, beep of the heart monitor. Jack refused all offers to take shifts. He wanted to be the very first person she saw when she opened her eyes. He moved his things into the room, turning a small folding chair into his bed. The following days, Jack lived in a world of whispers. He sat by the bed, holding Tuten's gaunt hand, massaging it gently to keep the blood flowing. He began telling her stories as if she were awake and listening. "Tien, the weather is beautiful today. The sun is up. You're sleeping so soundly, aren't you? Wake up, honey. Wake up and watch the sunrise with me." Jack leaned close to her ear, his voice low but filled with grim satisfaction and steel when mentioning their enemies. "Have you heard the news? The lawyer called me this morning. The case file on those two is complete. Your ex-mother-in-law, and that loan shark, Hung, have been indicted by the procuracy with the maximum penalty. Robbery, intentional injury causing serious consequences, and abandonment. The lawyer said, with the aggravating circumstances I provided, she's likely looking at 15 to 20 years in prison. And Hung, with his prior record, he's definitely going to rot in there." Jack squeezed Tuten's hand. "See, heaven is watching. They've paid the price." She was crying in her cell, begging to see me so she could apologize to you and ask for a lighter sentence. But I refused. I told her, "My wife is lying in a coma. She can't hear you. And even if she could, I wouldn't allow her to forgive a murderer. Justice has been served. You don't need to be afraid anymore. You don't need to worry. The world out there is cleansed of the bad guys. It's just waiting for you to wake up and witness it. Wake up, honey. Wake up to see the judge sentence them, to see how gloriously we won." Jack's voice cracked and he gently stroked her cheek. "If you keep lying here forever, they'll laugh at me. They'll think they beat you. Will you accept that wake up, Tien?" Seeing no reaction from Tuten, Jack changed the subject. He stopped talking about hatred. He spoke about love. He pulled a small red velvet box from his breast pocket. Inside was a brand new sparkling set of wedding rings. These were the rings he had secretly bought while she was in surgery. He wanted to make amends because their marriage had been so rushed. They never had a proper wedding. He slid the small ring onto her gaunt ring finger. The ring was a little loose because she had lost so much weight, but on her hand, it looked heartbreakingly beautiful. Tien, do you see this? It's our wedding ring. I'm sorry I haven't given you a proper wedding yet. I owe you a wedding dress. I owe you the day we walked down the aisle, witnessed by everyone. Jack kissed the ring on her hand, his tears soaking her skin. Wake up and let's get married. Okay, I'll throw the wedding on that beach you love. There will be tons of white roses. You will wear the most beautiful dress in the world. I will hold your hand and proudly tell the whole world that you are my wife. Let's have children, Tien. A daughter just like you, gentle and beautiful. I will protect both of you. I won't let anyone hurt our family ever again. I promise you. Just open your eyes. I'll do anything you want. I won't be a workaholic anymore. I'll come home early and cook for you. I'll take you traveling around the world. But the condition is, you have to wake up. You can't keep sleeping. You've been sleeping too long. I miss your voice. I miss your smile so much it's driving me crazy. Jack's gut-wrenching confession echoed in the stark white room. The monitor kept beeping. Beep. Beep. Steadily like a countdown. Could those promises of a fairy tale wedding, those updates about the enemy's punishment reach Tuten's subconscious? Could that resilient girl hear the desperate call of the husband who was wasting away waiting for her? Suddenly, the monitor showed a slight change in heart rate. Tuten's ring finger, the one wearing the ring, moved slightly. A very faint movement like the flutter of a butterfly's wing, but Jack felt it. He held his breath, eyes wide, heart pounding. Tien, you hear me, don't you? Ladies and gentlemen, Tuten's finger moved. The proposal and the news of the villain's punishment seemed to have awakened her fierce will to survive. But waking up after a long coma and major surgery is never simple. When she opens her eyes, will Tuten still remember who Jack is? Or will the after effects of the brain injury steal her memories once again? And more importantly, out there, even though the mother-in-law and Hung have been caught, is there another force trying to stop Tuten from appearing in court as a living witness? A mysterious shadow just glided past her hospital room door. Who is he? Jack and Tuten's journey to find happiness is entering its most intense phase. A dream wedding or a new tragedy. It will all be revealed in the next episode. Tuten wakes up and the mysterious shadow on the rainy night. Please do me a favor. Leave a comment below saying stay strong Tuten to give her the strength to wake up completely. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the moment Tuten opens her eyes. Thank you for listening and joining us on this journey. Goodbye, and see you again